What's up, Steno babes? It's your boy, Jack.
And your girl, Des.
We are two court reporters
With one podcast,
ready to tell you all of our stories.
we're taking you through the court reporting profession through our eyes.
So get ready because we're about to go on the record.
Do you solemnly state that the testimony you are about to give shall be the truth?
I do.
Then let's go.
This is the Steno Pod. What's up, Steno babes? We're back. We're back with the Steno Pod. I'm joined here with my co-host, Desiree. How are you,
Hi,
Des?
everyone. How are you, Jack? It's been so long. Seriously,
I know.
I missed you so much.
I've missed you so much. It's been so long. We are so sorry to our listeners. We definitely owe you all an explanation and an apology, maybe, kind of, sort of. I don't know if the excuse is that interesting, but
I am so sorry on behalf of Jack and I. We've literally been so busy. I think ever since we came back from New Orleans, we have been like, our schedules just don't align. That's the thing. I think that's what it is too. Our schedules just haven't been aligning. And instead of like telling you guys that or giving you guys some sort of explanation, we just kind of went ghost.
well, because we kept trying to do it. Like, we'd be every week we try every week. And then it's just like, shoot, I can't. I'm going here. Shoot, I can't. I have this. Shoot, I can't. And then we'll be like, well, let's play it by ear. And then all of a sudden, playing it by ear turns into like the weekend passes. And then the next week starts. And we're like, oh my God, we still haven't. But it's literally because our schedules are so opposite. And a lot of it has to do, a lot of it's me, a lot of it's my fault. Like, I will take most of the responsibility because I got cast in a show, a musical. I'm doing Grease, which is a super fun show. And I'm doing it in Garden Grove at the Gem Theater. I got cast as Danny Zuko. So there's a lot to learn. I have a lot of lines, a lot of dancing, a lot of blocking. I'm like growing my hair out and my sideburns. So that's why I literally look crazy.
I was going to ask you that. Is that why you're doing that?
Yes. Oh my God. I hate my hair long like this. I love a buzz cut. Like, I love super short hair for the summer and everything. But when I do a show, I totally invest all of myself into it, and I almost like transform into the character. Like, I just do so much work on it and it becomes me, and I'm like constantly thinking about it. I'm constantly like, I obsess over it. And so that's another reason too that I've just been so mentally checked out of like anything else, like even work. I'm just like, I'm doing it. Like, I took like 5 hearings this week, but it doesn't even feel like that because I'm so not even focused on it. I'm so just like, my brain is in a completely different mindset right now. But that's just how I get when I perform. And then also too, when I perform and I do a show, I go through like a funk. It happens every time I do a show because I don't know, it's not that I start to resent court reporting, but I start being like, why do I do court reporting? Because I love performing so much. And so I go through this whole crisis of like, am I doing the right thing with my life? Like, shouldn't I be auditioning more? Shouldn't I be doing other things? And then I try to get out of that quickly because I'm like, Jack, you're in a show, like you're starring in a musical, like live in the moment, enjoy it, have fun, do what you're supposed to do with it. But I definitely get this like other devil on my shoulder or something being like, are you doing what you're supposed to be doing? Like, so then I just check out mentally. And that's why I like haven't posted court reporting videos on TikTok. I've been not invested in the podcast as much. I just kind of like remove myself. And then I'm like, ugh, why do I even do court reporting? And I'm very clear with people. Like, I've been very clear and honest that court reporting is not my first love. I think that's very obvious. It was something to get into to make money, and I do enjoy it. I do love the machine. I love being on the machine. I like getting to hear the things we get to hear and being part of the legal system and process. I think that's super exciting and fun, but it's definitely not like, I don't know, like I get anxiety if I picture my life being a court reporter the rest of my life.
Oh my God, I'm so glad you said that because I do too.
Yeah.
I'm like, I'm doing this for the rest of my life, and it kind of overwhelms me a little bit.
But I think that's normal. And I'm just trying to be honest and vulnerable. And I don't hate court reporting. I love what it does for me. I love the opportunities it brings me. I love where I'm at with court reporting right now. I really, really do. But I think just when I go into my other zone of performing, which is like what I've been doing since I was like 3 years old, it's like my life. It's what makes my heart full and makes me so happy, like gives me purpose in my life. And so it just is weird going like back and forth between the two on a daily basis because now I'm in rehearsals every single day. We already open in less than 2 weeks. So it's just like a lot of work and rehearsals again every day, every night, even like Saturday, Sunday, we're rehearsing like morning till night all day. So it's just a lot and it's time consuming. And that's the main reason why we've literally not been able to line
Mhm.
up, get on the pod together. But you know what? We're back. I think maybe going forward, maybe we won't promise like an episode every Friday, or maybe we'll do
Mhm.
surprise episodes or whatever happens just to figure out, what works for both of us. And so that we're not like letting you guys down too. But
Yeah, exactly. Because also Jack is available during the week after a certain time. Because a lot of you know that he does court, and so that he does hearings. Whereas I don't do hearings. I do a lot of all day depots, and then when I get home, I have to take care of my kids. I have to make dinner. Like I have a completely different life outside after I get home from work. And then on the weekends I am available, but Jack has rehearsals. So it's our schedules just aren't aligning right now. And I think, yeah, it's so sad. It breaks my heart because I'm like, are you available? He'll be like, no, I'm not.
I know.
And then he'll text me like, I'm available. You can do it now. And I'm like, no, I can't.
I know.
It's so sad.
I do feel bad. But you know what? The bright side is we're here
Hmm.
now and we're
Hmm.
doing it now and
True.
we're going to live in the moment and we're going to be
Hmm.
grateful for all the opportunities we get to film and talk about court reporting things with you guys, because at the end of the day we do love it and it is fun
Right.
and we've built such a community. I feel like after DRA too, we had like a little experience that kind of threw me for a loop. During our presentation, we presented Des and I together and it was really fun, but we had someone like stand up. It's funny, like we're on the podcast right now. We were talking about the
Mhm.
podcast during our presentation because someone had asked what software we use when we
Yeah, like we didn't even bring it up. Somebody else brought it up.
yeah, someone was like, "What software do you use to record your podcast? I'm super interested." And I was like, "Oh, this is it. This is what it's called. It's really cool. It makes it really easy to edit. You can press a few buttons. It'll even edit out like your likes or your ums." And like the second I said that, a court reporter in the back of the room stood up and started shouting like, "You just said AI edits out likes and ums. Stop saying that. You have to stop saying that." And I was like, "Where?"
We were all like thrown for a loop. I was looking around like because she sat all the way in the back, and I was like, "Who is talking?" First of all, I was trying to find who is saying that, and then she stated, "We're verbatim reporters." And when I finally found her, that's when Molly was like, "Oh, they're talking about their software for their podcast," and I think she felt so stupid because the way she sat down, she
Well,
was like, "Oh,"
it was
and
just
then just
weird.
like
I'm
that.
like, "Are you not listening? I was talking about this podcast software for the last few minutes. Like, why are you?" Yeah, I'm like, "No, of course we're verbatim reporters. Has nothing to do
Mhm.
with our job as a court reporter. This was solely talking about what we do on the podcast and the software we use." But I know it was just like
Right,
a
right.
misunderstanding and whatever. But there's been like just a few comments like that, I feel like, thrown towards us, whether it's been like messages or comments and obviously the good totally outweighs the bad. And when you put yourself on a platform and start stating your opinion on things, of course, you're opening the door for the court of public opinion. And I totally understand that. And that's totally fine. But it does come a time where it's like, okay, well, okay, then I won't talk about it or then I won't post about it. Like, why
Right.
is this causing so much drama?
Right.
So,
And I think I got a message like that too. Remember, in regards to the out of state reporters coming to take California work, I had gotten a really long message from a girl, and she was really offended by me saying that when I clearly told her I was not talking about her working because she had stated she worked for, she takes California work on Zoom. And I clearly told her I wasn't talking about that. I was talking about the reporters that come to California and take our work. Like they fly out here and take our work. That's what I was talking about. And we had like a back and forth. And the whole time I thought, if she had a podcast, I would not be saying anything. If I disagree, okay, cool. Like I disagree with that. I don't agree with that. Whatever. There have been times Jack and I see videos posted online and there's advice. There was one in particular. I don't want to say it. I'm not going to say it, but there was one in particular. And we literally were like, there's no way this person is giving this advice to people. But what did we do? We just moved on.
yep,
We
we were
just
just
had
like,
a, we talked about it and that was
that was
it.
interesting advice. I would not give that to people,
It was
to
wild.
each their own. And yeah, I agree. I don't know if it's like a generational thing. I don't know what it is, but it's just like,
Mhm.
yeah, sometimes you don't have to say anything. Even if you disagree, like that's fine. You
Right.
don't always have to let people know you just disagree with that. Like, I don't know. It's just like,
Yes, and sending like these long paragraphs, and you're like, honestly, I didn't even read it. I was like, I'm not reading all of this, and I think a lot of people forget this is we're doing this out of our time. Like, we want to, people love hearing you and I, Jack. So when we get those messages, it does get discouraging where we're like, what is the point? Really, what is the point? And somebody else made a comment too about something Jack said last week or the last episode, and I was like, you know what? I'm done. Like, this is
I
enough. Like,
know.
we need a break.
Yeah.
Like, we can't even say anything jokingly now without people like, you shouldn't do this. And it's like, just why don't you get on the podcast?
I know. Totally. Well, anyway, stepping aside from all of that
Right.
fun stuff.
Just getting you guys updated on what's been on our mind lately.
Right, exactly. How was your work week? Court reporting. What did you do this week? Anything?
No, I was off. I had a really long arbitration last week, and oh my god, that arbitration really probably killed me. I was done. I was like, that like kind of like how you were talking about. You get kind of frustrated with court reporting. I was frustrated last week. I was like, I don't even want to do this anymore. Like, this can't be life. So I was like, I need a week to just recharge. But I did work today. I worked two jobs, one at 10 and one at 1. And let me tell you, they were only an hour long. Not even an hour. One was an hour and one was 20
Two
minutes. And I was like,
depots. Those
yeah.
are the
And I
best.
had,
When I was doing depots, I did
yeah,
like those where you double up and it was like two witnesses or it was a mother and
yeah.
son or a couple or whatever, two witnesses and they were usually quick. I like those. Those are good.
Yeah, and then like there's a bonus attached to it. Mind you, I didn't ask for the bonus. They offered it. And I was like, this is perfect. I was like, I kind of like this little life over here.
Hmm.
But I know. So I was like, I feel like Jack today.
That is fun. What was hard about the arbitration? Like, were they talking really fast? Was the terminology awful?
It was okay. So when you do it was an arbitration with an entertainment law, and when you do entertainment law, there's just movies thrown out galore. Like so many movies. There's producers, there's names, and I don't. I have. I'm not like it was real time too. So I'm really good at like the hard words, but I'm not good at names. I am not good at names. Once I hear a name, I'm like, what? Say it again.
I
Say it again.
know.
And mind you, there was one that was like the name was like for Farouk Bej something. I was like, what? I never do this, but I was like, I need you to spell that on the record. Like, there's no way. There's no way I can give you real time and not know the spelling of that name. Spell it. It was just all day, and it was from 9:30 to 5:30, and we had multiple witnesses just on the stand. And mind you, when you have multiple witnesses, it's really hard to get into a rhythm, right? When you're in a depot and you have one witness and it's all day, you get into the rhythm of hearing their voice, how they talk, their mannerisms. So like your brain adjusts to that.
Hmm.
Arbitrations, when you have like 6 to 7 witnesses a day, there's none of that. You're constantly going and you're trying to get into a rhythm, but there's no rhythm you can possibly get into.
Mm.
So I struggle with that. But I don't know how reporters in court do it. Maybe they're used to it, but me, I struggle so hard to get into a rhythm when there's multiple witnesses. So, but how was your week?
Yeah, I totally understand that too. I feel like court is really hard. With the work I do in court, there's no rhythm at all because stuff is
Yeah,
so
yeah.
quick that it's like the second you think you're getting used to someone's voice or their cadence or whatever, the thing is done. And you're like, oh, okay, cool. On to the next thing.
I was gonna say, right? How long do your hearings last?
Yeah, it all depends. This week it was crazy. They were all really, 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 really short. Really short. Like no more than 10 minutes.
That sounds so
I
dreamy.
know. I loved it. And then I had a lot of like cancellations or different things where they went on the record for 2 seconds, like literally 2 seconds. Like, we're submitting. Okay, cool, bye.
That's it.
So yeah, it was actually a really, really easy, good week, which is good. That's what I want right now because I'm at rehearsal till, midnight most nights. So I get home and then having to get up and drive to downtown LA or whatever. It's nice when they're just short and I can like come back home, take a nap and recharge but I do feel a little not guilty, but I just feel like I'm not challenging myself right now in the career at all. But again, it's because I'm taking on this freaking show, which by the way, I want everyone to come see if you're in, near, or around
Yes.
Southern California or you want to make a trip. Remember Heather, Northern California?
Bautista?
Yes, she's road
I
tripping
love
all the way down just to come see the show.
I know I gotta buy my tickets. I promise you, Troy and I want to go so bad.
I know. Oh, yeah, of course. And it's 6 weeks long. It starts June 12th and it goes till July 30th. And it's
Oh my gosh, that's
Thursday,
amazing.
Friday, Saturday, Sunday for 6 weeks. There's some weekends where we have like two shows on a Saturday, two shows on a Sunday. It's like a lot of performances, but
You're like working another job. That's what it is, right? It's almost like it's like that. You're working two jobs, right? You're
yeah,
you're
working
you're
that
single
long,
mom who works two jobs.
but I'm making what I make on one hearing.
Oh my god,
Isn't that
isn't that so
isn't that
brutal?
crazy? One hearing, what I make on one hearing. It's actually less than that. for the whole time of performing and everything. That's what I make on like one court hearing.
Yeah, see, oh my
It's
gosh.
kind of crazy.
It's and I always used to compare that too. There's times where like my husband gets off work and I'm like, I just got done, I made this much, and I only made this much, and he's like, only, and I'm like, I know nobody gets it.
I know. Seriously. So yeah, it's called the Gem Theater. It's in
The
downtown
Gem Theater.
Garden
Okay.
Grove. You can go on the website. Everyone come support. Message me if you're coming and I'll come out after and say hi and stuff. That'll be really fun. Grease is the
So
word.
I know. So I have to ask. Okay, I used to have a huge crush, by the way, on Danny. Is that his name, right? Right?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, Danny,
Yeah,
right?
Danny Zuko.
So when I found out I got the role, I was like, oh my god, I have to go. I love him so. And obviously, it was John Travolta. I had the crush on, but I love Grease so much. So wait, is it a? It's a musical,
Yeah, it's the musical. So Grease actually started as a musical. So it was a stage
right?
version first, and then they made the movie version of it. And now there's just kind of been a bunch of iterations of it as far as the stage show goes. Everyone kind of does their own thing with it. It's definitely way different than the movie. It's still the same story and stuff, but it's just like a different vibe, same music and everything. Some added songs, but yeah, I mean it's pretty close to like what the movie is, but it's just like different. Like it just like reads differently on stage. I feel like, but I think it's cute. It's a cute
Wait, so
show.
I was over here thinking the whole time it was like just the musical that you guys are doing. No, you guys are doing the whole movie, like reenacting like everything.
Yeah, like the whole yeah, it's like
Wait,
it's
no
the
way.
play. Well, it's the musical version. Yeah, so it's like, the whole freaking story, everything.
That's so cool. I'm so excited. I'm
Mhm.
so excited because I love that movie. You never get tired. No, I'm just saying because you never get tired of that movie. You can
Yeah.
watch it over and over. It's like one of those movies that's just a
It's
classic.
such a classic. I love
Okay, I'm
it.
gonna buy tickets today.
I love it.
I'm gonna
Yeah,
buy
so
tickets
I
today.
need to it's like now that I've complained a little bit, I'm kind of being like, okay, boo-hoo, because it's like how grateful am I to have a career where I can take these short jobs and still make awesome money and have my nights
Right.
free to do rehearsal and do these shows. Like I really do have the best case scenario where there are people that are performing where like they're performing for that paycheck. Like they're doing that, they're doing other performances, they're working at Disney, they're working here, they're working there, they're picking up all their gigs to like make money, but like that is a gig to like make money and that's why they're there. And it's such a blessing for me. I
Mhm.
was there at one point too, but since getting into court reporting, that now it can truly be just like a hobby and a fun thing. And I don't have to stress about the financials of it because I'm luckily have a great career to like
Right.
fall back on. So I do feel
Right.
kind of
Because
silly complaining sometimes, but
no, it's okay. You are in it because you love it so much, whereas they can't. Unfortunately, they probably love it, but they're gonna obviously, like you said, they're there for the paycheck. And I always say, love doesn't pay the bills.
mhm.
But luckily, you have and not only that, you're done 10 minutes. You still make a great wage. You can relax if you need to, but like recharge before you have to go do a rehearsal. So that's amazing. What a blessing to be in.
What does your week look like next week? Have you taken any jobs on the calendar yet? Are you going to take another week off?
No, no. I want to. I should. I honestly I should. No, I'm gonna work all next week. I'm probably gonna I gave them my full availability. So they'll email and they'll say like, "Hey, let us know your availability." So since we're real-time reporters, we'll let them know our availability. And I don't know what's going on in the field, but there is a huge shortage of real-time reporters. A
Mm.
lot of I have met reporters, going to these conventions that at one point did do real time, and then I talk to them now, and they're like, "Oh, I'm no longer doing real time," and I'm like, "Why? What?" And they're like, no, it's too stressful. So
Oh,
now I went from like 75% of my work being real time to 100% of my work just being nothing but real time. Today wasn't, which was nice. I was like, oh my God, I feel like I'm out of jail. I'm on probation. Like, this is nice. But yeah, everything's now real time. And, the market's changing right now. I think that, I don't know if you notice this, Jack. Maybe you're, since you're in court, you do. For so long, we were all the way up here. Like, it was so busy. There was never any periods where the market was coming down like slow. But now I feel like the market's like a roller coaster.
hmm
It has busy seasons or busy parts of the year. Then it comes down where it's so slow and then it comes right back up. Like, I don't know. Do you feel that way too?
totally. I feel
Where it's
like
like,
just even the last couple weeks, I feel like I don't want to say hustling, but
mm-hmm,
like next week I have two jobs on my calendar. And even this
mm-hmm,
week I had one job on the calendar. I ended up with five. So it's like I know it'll fill up, but I think it's like it's a lot of ex party stuff, which is all like last second things. There's a lot of like it doesn't feel like there's a lot of concrete set in stone like jobs happen. I don't know, it's weird, but I do feel because there's somewhere it's like there's a list this long of I can't even see my hands of like
yes,
things to
yes.
take, and then all of a sudden it's like I'll ask, "Hey, do you have anything this day?" "Oh, I'll let you know, I'll let you know." I'm like, "Okay."
Mhm.
Again, somehow, some way, something always comes up, but it is I think that's part of just, like, the freelance game of it too, is you really never know what's gonna happen and,
Mhm.
but I do definitely recently, I've been seeing that it feels slower. It's, like, not, but it feels slower. I don't know, it's weird.
Yeah, like it's kind of like it's slowing down a little bit because like in 2020, well, like 2019, 2020, 2021, 2022, it was so busy. You never having a day off or even a week off, you felt so guilty because you just knew calendar, the people who give you your jobs were struggling on the back end and you're like, "Oh my god, but I just need a break." But then you were like, "Well, if I don't cover these jobs, who's going to cover them?" And that's kind of the guilt I felt last night when I got an email and it was like, I'm telling you, like the email, I was scrolling because there were so many uncovered jobs. And I
Mhm.
was like, oh my God, who is going to take all these jobs? So I offered to take two just to help. But the next week, I don't know what that's going to look like. Summer, a lot of times, I'm sure you hear on the record, attorneys talking about their vacations and they're
Mhm.
like trying to schedule something and they're like, oh no, I can't do it that week. I'm going to Europe. I can't do it that week. I'm going to Mexico. I can't do it that week. My son's off. Or, you hear all the vacations. So sometimes summer does slow down, where you're like, is there going to be work? Is there not going to be work? So yeah, the market changes, I think, every year. And I think that it's going to continue to change. Maybe now that there's voice reporting in the field now. So it might, but well, who knows?
I know court is weird too, and I want to say it's like now, but I feel like it's been since I've been doing court where they're always like the judge will always say, "We're going to trail this to this date or we're going to move all of these things to this date." Like it seems like that happens 90% of the time. Which to me is like, yay, because we're gonna be done sooner and you're gonna move all that to that date. But I'm like, how come I never get the job where they've moved everything to that date? And then we're like doing all of these hearings and all these motions on all these different things. It always seems like, oh, it looks like you guys aren't prepared or ready, so we're gonna move it to this date, we're moving to that date.
And it's a waste of money.
I
Think about
know. And
it,
it goes
you
on and
know?
on and on. And these people are like now there's no trials being scheduled this year. Every trial now is getting scheduled at least like February 2026. Everything's getting,
Really?
yeah, it's so big. Every single department, especially in LA, they're just so swamped, so busy. It's
I
crazy.
know, I know. And I want to start taking trials too. I think
No
I'm gonna put my
way.
I do. I want to start taking some trials. I want to try it because you guys know I love ARBs, but I kind of want to see what the difference. I mean, I have done ARB. I mean, I have done trials in the past, but I think I'm gonna try it. I'm gonna try it.
You guys, I'm so sorry. If you're watching us, my lighting is atrocious. But okay, I feel like this is a little
You're
better. Now I'm in
fine.
like the sun. But I have to
You're
like
good.
move with the sun.
I know, right? You have to like go with it.
Mhm.
But yeah, we'll see. We'll see.
I was gonna do one if I didn't get Grease, I was gonna want to take a trial, like a jury trial really soon. But now I'm like, I can't take that on right now because if they need transcripts like the same day or whatever, I
Oh,
can't be like doing that. But once the show is done, I really want to do that, like a jury trial. I actually met this one reporter. We never like reconnected, but she had talked to me. She was like, hey, we could like split a trial and like you
mhm.
basically do every other day with the reporter. I feel like that sounds really appealing, actually.
Yeah, that is a lot of my colleagues do that.
Mhm.
It'll either be like an afternoon or morning or afternoon reporter,
Mhm.
or it'll be every other day, kind of how you talked about. And they just keep each other apprised of like this witness, that witness. We ended here. We're starting here tomorrow. Here's a word list. Here are the exhibits that were marked, like things like that. And it's so much more smoother, I feel, and you get more rest and you're not so exhausted. But yeah, in arbitrations, you don't really have that. I mean, I don't know what it is. Arbitrations, they like to have one reporter.
Mm,
And I don't know why. I mean, I get it. It's easier. You're not constantly having to, answer questions for two reporters. I get it, but sometimes it's hard.
mhm.
It's really hard to get two reporters, especially when no one wants to go to LA.
Right.
So
How
that's
do
why.
you mentioned something about exhibits. How do you handle exhibits? Do you have a lot of exhibits in arbitrations or they're usually like
Oh my
previously
God.
marked?
God, there's so many exhibits.
Mm,
Okay, with exhibits, they're already either some. It depends. Every arbitration's different. It could be they admit them as they go. So it'll be like, oh, they pull up exhibit one. They talk to the witness about it. And then they're like, okay, can I have exhibit one admitted? And then any objection? No objection. Okay, admitted. They could do it like that. Or it could be um, exhibits are the minute they're introduced, it's automatically like there doesn't need to be like, can I have it admitted? It's automatically admitted. So it'll be admitted on the first mention. So if exhibit one was mentioned on day one, has already been admitted, right? Because there was no objection, unless there was an objection, unless an attorney's like, you know what, Your Honor, no, I don't want exhibit one in. They have to speak up, right?
Mm-hmm.
And then also it could be they've already stipulated to exhibits. So they have binders. Like that's the thing when you come into arbitration. I'm sure trial too.
Mm-hmm.
They have just binders of exhibits and the parties have already agreed like these are the
Yeah.
exhibits. And then that way the arbitrator at the beginning will be like, okay, all of the exhibits that were agreed to are now admitted. And so then now you don't have to, I don't put like an admitted blurb. I'll just put like a little blurb and that way they know like if they want to look for that exhibit in the transcript, it's on this page. But yeah, but no, and then sometimes there's exhibit text, which is a tech that comes and like they'll display the exhibits for everybody. And like that way the attorney's like, can you pull up exhibit one? And then they'll blow it up on the screens, right?
Mm.
And then I'll ask them for the exhibit. So that way when I need to edit the transcript or my scopus need it, they have it. They'll send me like a link like to Dropbox or like something. And yeah, but it is such a hassle to get the exhibits sometimes because I'm like, I need the exhibits, I need the exhibits, I need the exhibits. And then they're like, I'll send them tonight, I'll send them tonight. And then they never do.
So you don't ever actually have to mark them like in a depot
No.
where you okay, yeah.
Yeah, and no. The only thing I do envy in court is they have a clerk, right? The clerk handles the exhibits.
Mm-hmm.
Whereas in arbitration, we don't have that. But we know we don't do any of that. We don't take the exhibits. We don't mark them. We don't send them with the agency. When we submit the job, that's just the job.
I always hated when I would do a depot and then the attorneys would wheel in with these boxes on top of boxes on top of boxes of
Oh my
documents.
god,
And I was
the
like,
banker
here
boxes.
we go. And mind you, I know some people have like those exhibit label makers and like all these
Oh, at
fancy
time bomb.
things. Yeah. I don't have that. Like I literally have just stickers on a thing, like super old school, super old fashioned. And so I would just start writing. Like I'd always try to ask the attorney, like, hey, are you gonna have exhibits? I think that's really important because if they're not, then don't waste anything. But if they're like, oh yeah, I'm gonna have freaking 50 or something, it's like, okay, cool. Then I would like just write one, two, three, four, and then like put them on the edge of the table around me and just like,
Mhm.
because you have to do it in the moment. They like hand it to you and you have to like mark it.
Yeah, I do the same thing. Exactly what you do.
So
You
no,
put the
yeah.
stickies right there, and that way you're just like grabbed. And not only that, too, as you're marking, they're already ready to talk, and you're like, "Hold on, like I'm still marking." Because yeah, I'm like,
I
"Oh, wait a second,
know.
chill." I get so fresh. I'm like, "Hold on, counsel, I'm still marking. Like, give me a freaking minute." They're like, "Exhibit one is," I'm like, "Wait, wait." So now, like, sometimes I'll be like, off the record, I'm like, counsel, just give me a minute to mark if you want to do this description and then have me mark that's fine too. Because they want to get the description on the record, the Bates numbers, all that,
Hmm.
fun stuff. So sometimes I'm like, counsel, if you want to hand me the exhibit, do a description, and then I'll mark it and hand it, we can do that. But I need a minute to mark. Like
Right.
come on, calm down.
Yeah, they don't get the concept of like, oh, the court reporter's hands are doing something else, but they can still, they're magicians. They can still make a record somehow. No, if my hands are not on my machine, I'm not making a
Right.
record.
Which I kind of maybe envy. Well, I was gonna say I envy voice reporters, and I think they can do that. But then again, they're holding it. Okay, unless they have
Mm,
like the I don't know what it's
oxygen
called.
mask or
Sorry,
whatever.
Jack.
No, but don't they have like a strap where it like looks? I've never seen, well, I've actually seen it, but I've never like heard someone actually do that
Yeah.
because that seems like creepy.
I know. I think I've seen a photo. We'll have to get somebody one day to explain it because I've seen that and I'm like, what is that? And if you guys know attorneys in Southern California, they make fun of us. They make fun of everybody. So I'm like curious to know if anybody has made comments about it. But oh, Jack, one thing I want to talk about. Sorry to shift gears, but
Yeah.
okay, I'm sure you got some messages in regards to the reporter in court that threw her head
Oh, yeah.
back.
Speaking of voice reporters, yes.
I know, and she was a voice reporter, yes, and not to say like, oh my god, machine reporters don't do that. Yeah, there have been instances
Oh, a
where I'm
thousand
sure we,
percent.
but I need your take on that because okay, I was under the impression when I saw the video that okay, I guess I'll admit I didn't watch like the full thing. I saw another reporter comment or make a video, and she said, I guess the defense attorney asked or wanted to continue, wanted to keep going, right? And we've heard that too, Jack, at depots where they want to keep going, and you're like, oh my god,
Right.
I am done, right? And you're like, it's all over your face sometimes,
So
but
what happened?
you're
Tell
under
our
the mission.
listeners what happened in the
So
video.
a woman. So I made a video in regards to me thinking that the voice reporter, I mean, that the defense attorney wanted to keep going and that they were going to continue and that the voice reporter was just done. So she threw her head back after the judge asked, like, how much more time do you have? And she asked the attorney, how much more time do you have? And then the attorney said, let me confer with my client or something like that. Basically, he just wanted to confer with somebody. And the court reporter literally took off her mask and threw her head back and said, oh my God. And
I mean,
yes,
I could,
okay.
the thing is, like, seeing her, that was such a like raw, real reaction. There was not one bit of me that did not empathize with her. Like, I was like,
Right.
I feel you. I have been you too many times to count. I wish I could say I haven't, but I have been in your shoes a million times. Like, I'm like, oh my God, I know exactly what you're going through and what you're thinking. But someone said, she said, oh my God, but didn't, weren't they like wrapping up? So she was just saying, oh my God, by it
Yes.
being like finally we're done, maybe. No.
So I don't, well, that's the thing. I don't know. So then when I made the video, like, mind you, I made that video under the impression thinking, because I made a video kind of, I saw both sides of the coin. I saw her side and I saw their side. Okay, I get it. So, like I said, I thought that they wanted to keep going. Well, no. Somebody commented on my video and said no. They did not want to keep going. They were going to be done for the day, and the judge just asked, because I that happens in arbitrations too. Like, they're planning the next day and they're like, hey, we got to get this trial moving. How much more time do you have with this witness? Because, mind you, witnesses, they come and testify, and if you have to bring them back, like, it's an inconvenience. They have lives too, they have work. So I guess it was just to ask that question. So me, now I changed my tune. I thought, I'm sorry, that reaction was completely unnecessary. If they're just asking that question, you could have done that face when you got to your office, when you got to your car. There have been times, Jack, where you could see it all over my face where I'm like tired, but you'll never see me have a face like that, a reaction like that. I think that is extremely unprofessional.
What is it
I
called?
love that.
I'm trying to find the video so we can
Okay.
like hear what
Karen,
they say.
okay, it's called Karen Reed. So Karen, Karen, or I think it's Read. Hold on, let me find it, because the amount of people that sent it to me, I was like, oh my God,
That's the court
what is
reporter's
going on?
name.
No, so the trial, all you have to do is type in Karen Reed court reporter, and then it'll come up. Let me see. I got it. Okay.
We're on TikTok.
Yeah. Okay, here we go. Ready? Are we gonna, so how do I do it? Just like
Hold it
put
up
it
to the
in.
mic, maybe like the speaker. Yeah, let's
Tell me
hear
if you can
this.
hear it.
Okay,
Okay.
okay.
Tell me if you can hear it. Okay, ready?
I'll hear you very briefly tomorrow before we stop. But Mr. Lessie, how much longer are you going to be tomorrow? I'll
Wait,
let you
so
have
what
it
did
now.
what did the attorney say? Can you hear what the attorney said?
Yeah, yeah. He said, "Give me a moment, Your Honor. I just want to confer with my client," like something like that.
Oh,
He
so
basically,
we need
yeah,
more
yeah. He
context, I guess, right? To see if they're saying like we're gonna go another 8 hours or we're gonna, but it's also court, so it can't be like that much longer, right? I don't know.
No, and after doing some dumpster diving on this, I found out that no, they adjourned shortly after.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
I'm sorry, Jack. I just cannot. No, I know it's frustrating. Trust me. You guys, arbitrations and even depots, you never know when you're going to be off. At least in trials in court, you have an idea. Mind you, LA is extremely strict. There's no way you're going past 4:30 on a trial. Like, they're
Mm-mm.
like, no overtime.
No.
Nope, nope, nope,
You
nothing.
should
Because
be done by
obviously if you go over.
4:15, but some will go to
Yeah, yeah.
4:30, but most people end at 4:15. Yeah.
Yeah, exactly. So they're very, very strict about the overtime, about all of that. So no, you're not going past that. It does not even matter. So you know when you're going to be off, but depots and arbs, you don't. Arbitrations, especially, it's so, because they're not. It's in an informal setting. There's times where they're like, yeah, we can go a little late. We'll go till 6:30 today, and you started at 9, and then because they want to get that witness done so they don't have to bring the witness back, because it's such an inconvenience for witnesses. And I understand. So sometimes I'm like, yeah, let's just keep going. And I'm done. Like, there's times where I want to put my head down and cry. Also, speaking up about your needs. If it's too much, you could just say, "Yeah, can we take a quick break?" It's I would love to keep going. Maybe we can go another hour. Maybe take a 10-minute break and go another hour. But after that, I think it's too much. Speak up. I just think those reactions make us look so bad. Especially, I'm gonna say it. You don't have to agree. No one has to agree. During a time when attorneys are extremely frustrated with court reporters, I can't tell you how frustrated they are with us right now.
Mm-hmm.
I'm just gonna keep it real. So when I see reactions like that, I'm like,
I want to
oh,
know,
and
we have to have a voice reporter on here because I really want to know like their perspective of fatigue and the mental like anguish that they go through. Because for me, it's like, I feel like, I guess it's different person to person. And I don't know if maybe like as steno writers, we get more physical fatigue because we're physically using like a part of our body,
Our
our
shoulders,
shoulders, our
our
back.
back, our
And I
arms
guess
right
voice
here.
reporters, like you're sitting, so you're in that position too. You could have a certain degree of, and then you're using your voice. Your voice can get tired. Your voice can go out. Like I know that being a singer and performer, but I want to know the differences between,
Hmm.
um, I guess like how tired like do voice reporters get compared to steno? Because
That's a good
I get
question.
really tired, and I almost get like anxiety. I think that too, like not knowing when we're gonna be done. So I start going through my head and I'm like, is this gonna go another hour? Is this gonna 2 hours, 3 hours? Oh my gosh, like I have to eat again. I'm feeling lightheaded. I'm like, I just
Mhm.
go through this whole like inner monologue of like tearing myself down.
Yeah, and I think that's it. I think if we knew we were gonna go till 8 o'clock, you could mentally prepare yourself for
Yeah.
that, right?
Yeah.
You could bring snacks, you could bring dinner, you could bring lunch, you could bring so many things and help yourself to keep going,
Yes.
right? And I did have an attorney one time that was like, "We're gonna go till like 8:30," and he told the agency, and then he brought us dinner. He had dinner like catered, like came in. It was perfect, and I respect him for that because he planned ahead. Whereas
Hmm.
a lot of these depots or anywhere, they don't do any of that.
No,
They don't do at all.
I had one where we started at 9 a.m. and they were talking about pushing through lunch. And mind you, when I hear pushing through lunch, when I was a new reporter, I thought that meant like, oh, they're almost done. They just want to push through
Oh, yes.
and go, they're almost done. Yay. No, they just want to sit and make everyone suffer. And I don't know. They just want as much time as they possibly can get to do their stuff. But yeah, so eventually, once I became more experienced, I would be like, no, we need a 30-minute lunch if it's a remote job. But even then, it's like we need 45 or an hour if we're downtown and we have to go find food or whatever the case.
Right.
Your arbitrations and stuff is so different. I mean, they have freaking like Michelin star people come deliver food. It seems like
You're so
freaking Emerald's coming up there and cooking up his specialty for you guys.
I know, no, really. And but the only downfall with that is that sometimes when they have lunch catered, they think, "Oh, you're not going anywhere, so 30-minute lunch." No, I no longer do 30 minutes.
No,
I
it's
don't care
impossible.
if it's from home. I don't care if we're in person. I don't care if you're bringing me lunch. We're doing 45. Oh, what is that extra 15 minutes going to do? Be real.
I
Be
know.
so for real. It's
Right.
not if you want the extra 50 minutes, 15 minutes at the end of the day, I'll give it to you.
Yeah.
Like fine. But no, 45 minutes I need to rest and and that was the thing I wanted to say too. Like I'm very curious about the what the voice reporter fatigue is too, because my husband was talking about that. He's like, all they're doing is talking though. And guys, please don't get mad at him. He doesn't understand. Like he didn't understand our job for so long.
Hmm.
There was times where I'd come home. I'm like, I'm mentally exhausted. He's like, from what? You just listen to people talk all day. So he doesn't understand. Okay, let's
Hmm.
give him some slack there. But he was like, they just talk. Like there's no movement. And I'm like, yeah, but like even now when I talk a lot, I'm like, mom, my mouth hurts.
Yeah, and I can also like picture the exhaustion by like following people and what they're saying, whether you're typing
For
it or what you're
sure.
speaking, just being like catching up with people's last word and like, okay, who's talking now? Like I that does cause a lot of mental exhaustion, I feel like. So I get that.
Also, too, mind you, when we're looking for people who are speaking, we're just looking, right? We're on our machines, but they have the mask, so they're like looking around as they're speaking, like they're having to move their head a lot,
Hmm.
I would imagine. So, and I also want to let everybody know that if machine or voice, I would have the same opinion. She should not have had that reaction, and I'm gonna stand on that. And if you don't like it, I'm so sorry. Sorry, I'm just saying, like, it just makes us look so bad. And not only that, she threw her head back and
Hmm.
then said, "Oh my God." Like, I don't know. If
I
she would have
know.
like rolled her eyes, okay, that's different. She was like, in the moment, whatever. But this woman threw her head back. Like,
I had
I don't know.
one time, I can't remember. I just remember it was such a gnarly witness where they were just talking so fast. I couldn't hear. The Zoom was breaking up. It was a remote job. And I don't think I was like rolling my eyes or anything, but I was definitely like leaned forward. And sometimes when I'm like really focused or I can't hear, I literally will be like, or I'll like make a face like, what? Like, I can't, can anyone else hear this? And I'm like, and sorry if you're listening to this and you can't see my facial expressions, but I'll basically just like hunch forward and like open my mouth and like squint my eyes and be like, what are you saying?
Mhm.
And I had one attorney at the end of like that depot She was like, I just want to give a shout out to the court reporter. Your facial expressions were cracking me up that whole time.
Stop. She was like, "Don't worry."
hmm
No, that's like that's different.
That
You're
was
like
like,
just trying to figure out what the fudge is going
yeah.
on.
And it was like nice because she was like, honestly, that was so entertaining, like watching you. I'm like, cool, but could you tell your freaking client to like get it together so I don't have to make those weird faces? Like, come on.
Right, right. And guys, okay, I know a lot of people are probably gonna remember this story when I talked about I was on a Zoom and there was okay, so when there's a third party witness, the witness is not being represented. So that means both sides are going to question, right? So I had a third party witness and the attorney A, he came in, boom. His questions were perfect. It was so direct. There was no nothing. It was like 2 sentence questions, 3 max. He was so boom, 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 boom. So then attorney B goes to question. And mind you, the questions are so long. He would get Jack, he would do 6 lines. The question was 6 lines.
No,
And then he would say,
no.
strike that. And it was like, okay, so I thought I was on mute. Okay. I thought I was on mute. And he had like a 7 sentence question and he said, strike that. And I was like, all I did was, that's all I did. Cause
That's
I was
nothing.
like,
I sigh all the
okay.
time.
But he said, sorry, Madam Court Reporter. And I was like, oh my God, I'm so sorry. I apologized after. I was like, I'm so sorry. It was just a long day. Mind you, my camera was on. It wasn't off. I just took a deep breath because it was a lot. You go from an attorney that has the bombest questions ever. He's so direct
Right.
to somebody who's, mind you, when they say strike that, they're gonna start the question over.
I know.
And you have to, and he was struggling. He really was struggling. I'll admit it. He was struggling. So I just did a little sigh. So I'm like I said, I've had moments like that too, but I don't know. I just think that reaction was not warranted.
Yeah. I mean, I think you definitely have to like, yeah, know the place, know the audience. I
Mhm.
mean, in an open courtroom like that, and you're like front and center, kind of tricky. You know, if you're on a Zoom and your camera's off, or maybe it's on, but you're just sort of like, you know, it's kind of just
Yeah,
read the
that's
room a
different.
little. Yeah. Do you always
Yeah,
mute
and
yourself
yeah,
on
I
Zoom?
do. I don't turn my camera off, but I mute myself. I don't like turning my camera off. I feel like that's what's going to separate us from like I and all that
Yeah.
stuff where the attorneys know there's a human
No,
there. You're
totally.
listening, you're paying attention.
Yeah.
So I know there are reporters that do turn their camera off, but like I said, I just don't think
Yeah, I don't like that.
we
Even
should.
in hearings and stuff too, there's always like, oh, I'm the court reporter. I'm like, show your face. Like, I want to show my face and be like, my name is Jack. My CSR license
Mhm,
number is like, you have to like, yeah,
mhm.
show that you're a court reporter, you know?
Agreed. I like that. I love that. So, but yeah, sorry guys. I'm sorry if I offend anyone, if we offended anyone, but I don't know. Jack, I don't really feel like you didn't touch on it. Do you agree with her? What are your
Well,
thoughts
no,
on
just
it?
what I was saying, like, you know, read the room kind of thing. And,
Mhm.
or maybe like figure out something for you to go to before you do that. Like, I don't know, like if it's a,
Mhm.
like, I always know if I get in that moment, I have to take a deep breath in through my nose and like exhale, like just get like a bunch of oxygen to my brain and breathe it out
Mhm.
and go, okay, like we're okay.
Mhm.
There's even some times where I've had to like shake my hands out and be like, you know what, shake it out, like keep going. Because there are some days like that where it's just gnarly and it's so long, and you literally feel like the room is like caving in on you because it's just like hot and stuffy in the room, and you're so
Mhm.
focused that you're so mentally exhausted and you barely slept the night before, and there can be so many like elements. So yeah, I don't know. I
I
just feel
agree.
like
I agree.
find something else first before you go to like a big reaction like that. But also
Yeah,
like
ask for a break.
let's bring her on the pod and see her side of the story too. Like I'm down.
Should we get her info? I would love to. I would, and she could probably be like, she could probably be like, you know what, I shouldn't have done that. Like, it was just a natural reaction. I'm sorry. Or she could be like, you know what, no, I stand on business. I whatever, and I will respect her for whatever she.
And she had to have known that like cameras were in the room too, right? Like
I know it was a murder trial.
yeah, like I'm
Wait,
always very
I think.
cautious of that too. Like, oh, there's cameras here, or there's this or that, so I'm gonna look extra poised or what, you know, I don't know.
And I don't know, I went like I told you, I really went on like a dive on this case. Apparently, like there's been complaints about the judge. There was complaints about like the defense not getting a fair trial. Like the
Mm,
jurors were even passing notes. Like it was so wild. So I think that when somebody had said like there's a comment like on that video and this girl like really spilled it. So I think when that reporter did that, it was like just like the icing on the cake on top of everything else that they had already been dealing with. So, but yeah, the comments were a little rude. I will say they were like, "Oh, she's compensated well," or crazy how like she's getting mad that she has to do her job, and somebody was like, "All she's doing is speaking into a stupid microphone." Like people were
I know.
brutal
People
out
are like
there. I was like,
the jury has to sit there all straight face and not say anything, but the court reporter's over here doing a whole like act two of a musical,
yeah.
which yeah, I don't
I
know.
agree there. That kind of that's true. But I mean, come on, she has no gain in this freaking whatever happens. Like
Right.
she's not, you know.
Yeah,
But
totally. Although I do
so
find that a
that's
lot of judges are
interesting.
super lenient with jury, like the jury. Like the jury's kind of
Oh
seen
yeah,
as like you can do whatever. Like if you
yeah. Like they take care of the jury.
yeah, or if like someone were to react or something. I mean, if it was like an audible like something, but like if you're crying in the jury because of something you see, like you're not gonna get in trouble. Like they're
Yeah,
super
that's
like
true.
let the jury
They're
be.
lenient. Yeah,
Mm.
they like they protect the jury like at all
Yeah,
costs. I
because it's
feel.
like they're the deciders. So yeah, interesting. What about the case of the week? We were kind of talking about the Menendez brother update. You have that update, right?
Yeah, I'm looking it up right now. Okay, so a lot of the Menendez brothers did have a hearing to be resentenced. So basically, I guess they had a hearing that way because they got their sentencing originally was life without parole. So like they were whatever. So they had like another sentencing, so that way they are eligible for parole. So they were sentenced to 50 years to life with the eligibility of parole. So now they are up for parole because yeah, I don't really know how they're up for parole if it was 50 years to life. But anyways, they're now up for parole. So all of this, their fate is in the hands of the parole board, which I think they're still going to get out because I don't know. I feel like people are going to go show up to their hearing and ask them that they be let out. But because, Yolanda Saldivar, the woman who killed Selena, she's up for parole, but they said no.
I
They're
know.
like, no. So I wonder, do you think they're going to be let out?
I think they're going to be. I think they've done enough time. I think they've shown
Mhm.
character growth.
I agree with that.
And I think they have just, yeah, showed that they've evolved and learned. And,
Hmm.
but okay, so when they get let out, if they get let out, does that just mean they're getting a new trial
No,
eventually? Or it's
they'll
like,
be out.
okay,
That's it.
okay,
Because
okay,
the
got it.
parole board, I think that was why they wanted the resentencing.
Got it.
So it
Okay.
could just kind of be like where the parole board lets them out and that's it. They're done. They're out. This is all behind them. Now it's start a new life. I don't know if you've heard, but the Chrisleys just got pardoned by Donald Trump, President Donald Trump. See, that's crazy too, because they were in jail, I think, for tax evasion and like lying on some loan applications. And Donald Trump not only gave them a pardon, he gave them like a full pardon where basically the crimes basically what they did basically just didn't happen. Like that's it. You have a clean slate. You don't will never get in trouble for this ever again. The conviction's basically out, which I'm like, oh my God, that's crazy. They were sentenced to I think Julie was sentenced to, it was a husband and wife. Julie was sentenced to 7 years and then he was sentenced to 12 years. And mind you, it's federal prison. So you have to do 85% of your time.
Mm-hmm.
So now they're out and yeah, I don't know what do you think about that? So basically, I mean, right, one's murder, one's fraud. What do you think? So do you think, I know you don't know much about the case, but
Mm-hmm.
do you think that they should have been pardoned? Do you agree with that? And then do you think like comparing the two, Menendez
Yeah.
brothers getting out, everyone wants them to get out. Mind you, they did kill their parents, which I understand
Mm-hmm.
they were going through a lot, but they killed two people.
I know. I
And
just
then you
think it's
have these
so.
people.
This is where, and we work
It's
in the
hard.
legal system. Yeah. And where it's, I think the legal system tries to put like a black and white cap on it all, but it's so
Mhm.
gray. Like there's just so much gray
Right.
area where it's like the intricacies of a story and relationships and what actually happened and what's premeditated and what's an accident or what's, self defense or what there's just
Right.
so many different aspects to it that it's so hard to even like comment on sometimes. I'm like, I don't know.
Right.
And then even too, hearing that, like, I remember Trump said in an interview, like, well, if a woman gets an abortion, there needs to be some form of punishment for that. So I'm like, so what are we like we need to have like some consistency here. Like what are we punishing people for? What are we releasing people for doing? I don't know. It's just like there's just a lot of gray in all of that. It's really hard to keep track
I
of it
agree.
all.
I totally agree with that. You're right. Because like you said, it's like in school, right? It has to be this like in elementary, high school, all that. The rules have to be the rules for all students, right? But I feel like in the legal world, it's anything but that.
Hmm.
You have rapists, you have people who abuse animals get less time than people who are smoking marijuana.
I know, it's so
And
weird.
yeah. So and I think that's one thing I don't like about the legal field is you see all of that. I mean, mind you, you and I do civil, so we don't see criminal. Even in civil, I hate to say it, money talks. I think money. You have a good attorney, you have a lot of money, you're gonna get off on a lot of, you're gonna win, or you're gonna get off on a lot of crimes.
Totally.
So same thing with Diddy. I hate to say it, but I would be really shocked if he got convicted.
Really?
He has. Have you seen his attorneys? Have you
Mm-mm.
seen his team? He has 11 attorneys.
That's
And mind
crazy.
you, the government will come after people, but having worked for the government sometimes on depots, they're very, very strict on a budget. Like if you ask them, like, do you want a rough draft? Do you want real time? Do you want this? They're like, no, no, no. Like I have to get that approved. I have to get that approved.
Mm.
Whereas Diddy has so much money. He has 11, and not just any attorneys, the top attorneys in over there.
Wow.
And he has every witness so far has had a different attorney questioning, because that's what they do. They have their witnesses, and it's like, who's going to do this witness? And then this one's going to do this witness because, you're good at this. You're specialized in this. You're going to do that one. And so far what I've seen is like the cross-examination has been really tense because, like I said, they have assigned attorneys to each witness. It's kind of like with the Johnny Depp trial, how I forgot her name. The attorney that questioned Amber Heard,
Mm-hmm.
she was like a force. She was like on it, right? They assigned her because she specializes in that, and she look at how good that was.
Yep.
So I don't know. I just feel like money talks, and he has a lot of it, and I feel like he might get off. Honestly, I really do.
Dang. That's so upsetting.
It is. It's very upsetting, but I don't know. You and I see that all the time.
All the time. Daily.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
What about a brief of the week? Do you have a brief of the week
we
for
even
me? You know what?
No.
What was I doing? They keep saying in court, they say final status conference all the time. Then they say trial setting conference all the time.
See, I don't even hear that.
And then,
That's crazy.
yeah, what have I been doing? I think I've been doing finals for final status conference, and then
Finals?
trinals. I know, trinals for trial setting conference.
I like that. That one's a good one.
Yeah, they've like helped me so much because all the time I'll be like, we're gonna move the final status conference, and like writing final status conference like is crazy. So you just need that in one because they say it so quick. So those have been good. I think those are mine for the week.
That one's a good one. I like that. Final. And it's like just F-I-N-L. Finals. Wait, you do the S?
I think
I cannot do LS. I cannot do that.
No, I think I probably have it defined a couple times because I probably mess up.
I would just do fizz, like fizz. I don't know. I'm with the asterisk because you know me and my asterisk.
Flagged.
I
love
it. That's what I would do. I don't think I had any. Well, let me see for our arbitration last week. Oh, they kept saying, it was an agreement. Oh, engagement agreement. I think I just did EPLT flagged. Just,
oh my gosh,
they kept
so
saying
random.
it over and over. I know, engagement agreement, or this agreement. It was like so many agreements. So I would just have to, engagement agreement. That one was the one that bothered me the most. What about a brief instead of a phrase? Like, do you have any good ones that came up? Look at us, we're just so behind.
I know. I'm trying to think.
Sorry, everyone. I know.
It's a lot of times it's just like weird phrases like that for me that I'm like, I need to brief it.
Same here.
Oh, there was one. Oh, you know what was really getting annoying this week? And it always annoys me, and I can't believe I've never come up with a brief for it, but compromise.
Shut your mouth. I freaking hate that word.
So annoying.
Compromise. It's because I do compromise.
Yeah, it's like, but I never know if I do like compra or compro or like, it's just, oh my God. So I made up a brief. I'm trying to remember what it is.
Compromise. Oh my God. And it's such a simple word, it's just such an annoying word to stress.
I might have just briefed it as Kiz, K-I-Z.
That's a good one.
Is that right? Kiz. Yeah, I think
one.
that is something like that. Or
like
cause.
K-I-S?
Kiz or cause or something. K-I-Z or K-O-Z.
So then what do you write for cause? Like cause, like don't go.
K-A-U-Z.
Okay, that's what I do too. Okay, so then you just do like K-A-Z? Or I would just do like K-O-Z.
K-O-Z, I was saying, yeah, K-O-Z.
K-O-Z, like flagged or something
compromise. Because, yeah, it's like, you can't write that. It's awful.
Oh my God. It's horrendous.
Awful.
Did we ever do one for substantial? Yeah, we did, huh?
Yeah, I do. I do sunil, like S-U-N-L.
Okay, what do you have for substantially? I cannot do that one.
That I would probably add the asterisk to sunil. Or a lot of my leads, I just come back for the L-I. That's our theory.
Me too.
Yeah, I know.
Me too. And it's a pain in the brain to come back for it too.
Well, this was a
Jack.
fun episode. Thank you all for listening to us. And whether you're going through great times, bad times, stressful times, at the end of the day, we all go through these things. And even if you're a working reporter and you've reached your dream of doing that, we still, perspective is everything, right? We all still have days or moments or periods of time where we're busy or we're stressed or we're this, we're that. It's all the thing that we like to call life. But the point is, we're still here. We're still doing it. We're still with each other. So keep pushing, keep going. And thank you for tuning in once again. And we will be back very, very soon. Let's try to do like maybe a Q&A episode next time so you guys can DM us. We'll post about
Yes.
it. Send us your questions about court reporting or life or all of the above, and we'll answer those probably on the next one.
Yes, yes. And I love that you said that about the reporting, working reporter, because I feel like all of us think that once we become a reporter, all of our life struggles are going to go away. No. Sometimes they get even harder. So,
True that.
love you guys. Thank you guys so much for tuning in.
Love you guys. Have a good day.